Alright, let's get this party started. All you need is some frozen vegetables and some beef broth or chicken broth, whatever broth you want to use. You can use just plain water. And a big pot. So I'm going to get all this in there and get it going and be right back. Alright, looks like we got some corn and some butter beans and okra and tomatoes and potatoes and carrots and green beans, just whatever you want to put in there. It's your vegetable soup. These are frozen packages of ready-made vegetables. So I got those in there, and I'm just going to add the beef broth. You just want to cover everything. Since these are frozen, and we're going to can them, we don't want to cook them. We just want to bring them up to a boil for about 10 minutes. I'm going to add all this stuff. Doing this one-handed, so it's kind of weird. Alright. It looks like I'm going to have to probably add some water. Maybe. You just want to cover it. And let's see here. And maybe just a little bit of water. This is going to make a lot of soup. Alright, let this boil and come right back. Okay, so while that's getting ready to boil, get it in there, get all that yummy business. Start getting all your jars and everything. We're going to do about 8 pints, it looks like. Let's turn this off, it's kind of loud. And I'm going to be using my 1960 something pressure canner. Doesn't require a seal. This is like all-American canner, pressure canner. It's old, but still works really well. Oh, sorry for the flash around, but get all your tools and everything together. And jars. And lids. I'm going to use the water from my water bath canner that I'm sterilizing the jars in to soften the lids. So, get everything together and get it all ready to go, and we'll be back. Okay, so bring this to a rapid boil for about 5-6 minutes. You don't want to overcook it because we're going to pressure cook it. You just want it to get started. And that's part's done. Almost. Ouch, that's hot. Careful. This process is crazy hot. Jars are pretty much sterilized. I'm going to use the water in this on my lids and in my pressure canner. So when we come back, my beautiful wife is going to be running the camera because I'll need both of my grubby little hands. We'll be right back. Okay, so got the jars out and dumped the water in my pressure canner and on my lids to get everything ready. These jars are crazy hot. I like to add some white vinegar to my water just to keep my jars from getting cloudy. Don't worry, it doesn't affect anything. It's just, I don't know, it's weird. It works. So now we're ready to fill our jars, put our lids on, and then get them in the pressure canner. And we'll be right back. We're recording? Mm-hmm. Alright. Okay, so our soup's ready. Ooh, dang, that's hot. Okay. see the soup. You got all kinds of good stuff in there. Just whatever you want in there, and then we're going to ladle it into our pint jars. Give it a little bit of juice in there. You only want to go up to that bottom ring right there. So we'll do this a little bit more. It looks like we're going to have a lot of soup. So go on to the next one. Main thing with canning is just you got to be clean. Already washed my hands and got all that good stuff, and I'll show you how to clean the top of the jars here in a minute. A little heavy on that one. Alright, so we'll keep doing this and come right back to you. Okay, next thing I do is once you get everything full, is you got to make sure there's no air bubbles. I mean, this is mostly liquid, so you're not going to have a whole lot of air bubbles in there. But air is not good. Air bubbles are not good because then you lose a little bit when you're processing. But it all looks good. Okay. So then you got to clean the rims around here. Otherwise, you're not going to get a good seal with your canning lid. So a lot of people just wipe it down with a paper towel, which you can do that. But I'm kind of anal, so I use vinegar to make sure it's nice and clean, because you don't want any schmutz on there at all. And vinegar is going to make sure it's nice and clean and sterilized. Turn it a little bit, make sure you got all this. Okay, and then you just put your lids on there. They're not that hot, but I mean they're hot. You don't want to boil your lids because then, you can bring it to a rapid boil, but only do it for like 10-15 seconds. Because all you want to do is soften that ring up right there. Why do you leave a little bit of head space, you ask, in the jar? Well, in the pressure canner, what happens is the pressure builds up on the outside of the jar, inside the canner with the heat, and it actually sucks the air out of the jar, and you get that. But and that's what canning is. Especially pressure canning, you're sucking the air out, and you're also cooking it when you're pressure canning. So anyway, put our lids on. Ouch, that's hot. And you only want to do this finger tight. You don't want to crank them down there real hard. Okay. And we'll be right back.